Well, hey there. Welcome to the Paw Chronicles and More with Jim. Well, today, this is the more part. This isn't a Paw. This is a persimmon. And I was out here looking around, checking things over. This is a top worked persimmons. I've got 3 different scions in here. They're all of the same variety. H1 18 early jewel, grafted May 30th of this year. And one of the things that I found that's going on with the grafts I got out here, I placed the tubes back over top of them, cut the tubes down to size and to protect them. But you know, last year I had a second thought. I had a problem with deer. I tried it for the first time last year, and this green that's pushing, deer, when it got out here, it came along, nibbled on it, disrupted the graft, and it killed that graft. Matter of fact, that tree ended up dying. But we're going to pull this off here nice and gently, because I'm seeing something that I'm not too keen on. Throw that off to the side. I'll use it on something else. Now, I've just recently started dealing with persimmons. I mean, this is a seedling from 2018, which means I started it from a seed at that time, and it was only 6 inches tall when I planted it out here. Well, one thing I'm finding about the tree tubes, when I look down inside, I see all this growth. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to practice what it is that I do as far as persimmons, the same way I do with pawpaws. So all this green, I want to get rid of. I don't want nothing growing from the rootstock. Get it all out of there. Because I believe that the rootstock will try to overcome that graft, and I don't want it. And what I'm hoping is that the persimmons will do the same thing that pawpaws do. Over a period of time, that green will quit growing, and what you'll have is just the scion growing. Well, I wanted to try and protect these trees. I did it with tree tubes. Another thing I noticed is spiders like to nest in there, which probably is a good thing, insects. But what I'm going to do is, I got a fence here, and I'm going to put the fence around it. This was a 4-foot fence. I cut it 5-foot length, and then I turned it around sideways and created a hoop. And what I'm going to try and do is gauge about where that fence should be, so that the tree is in the center to give it room to grow, and hopefully it does good. So I'm thinking probably roughly right around in here. Go ahead and get this pounded in. I think the one good thing about it is the stake is going to be far enough away from the tree. When it comes time to pull that stake, I won't be disrupting too much of the root system. Not to mention a tree that big, there's plenty of root there to play with. Get out here with that 0 turn to mow this area out. Hasn't been visited for a little while. And just gently slide it over without bumping into the scion wood. That's pretty good. Now let's get some zip ties in place. Anchor it down. Whoops. That didn't work out. I'll have to utilize another one. Got to watch what I'm doing. There we go. I don't think that's going to go anywhere. There. Another good thing about having the fence right here is I can reach in here and knock off any other green that's trying to grow later on down the road and see what happens. I can see a little bud that's underneath the construction tape trying to grow out. When it comes out here, I'll pinch it off. It'll break through that construction tape eventually, I believe. But let's put the tag back on it. Now as this takes off, I have metal tags, which you all have seen me use. And the metal tags will have their name. H118 early Joel. Very pleased with that graft. I made a couple of these cages, and I got a few grafts that I'm going to try and protect, and there's a few grafts out here that I'm going to have to revisit because the grafts didn't take, and I'll probably be doing that within the next week or two. The scion wood that I have came from Cliff, England, and he's been a very, very good person as far as guiding me along the way on what and how to do. I've been to his establishment a couple times, and I will be going again this year when the persimmons is ripe, and this time I'll take notes. If you notice, the tag end of the fence where I had cut it off, these right here, I bent downwards. That way if a deer comes up, they'll touch this and back off. And what's the nice thing about it is, in periodic areas, that scion's liable to grow out through here. I'll do the same thing in different little key areas to where when a deer comes up to it and sniffing around, they bump their nose or face up against that and they'll back off. That's the whole idea. But anyhow, it's just something that I wanted to share with you. And thank you for all your support out there in the YouTube world. My name's Jim. If you like what you see, subscribe. Don't forget to click on that bell for any notifications. Any comments or questions that you may have, I welcome. Y'all have a God blessed day.